There are things that we miss. There are things that we miss, and there is there's a reason for that. So we get 11 million bits of information every second into our brain. So our five senses, we get 11 million bits of information. Our conscious attention can process 60 bits per second. So we're getting in 11 million bits, and we can process 60. So that we don't go crazy, we'd go crazy trying to process it all. So our brain ignores most of the stuff that comes in. Unless it's of a concern to you, then your brain is going to ignore it. And if it's something that facilitates a goal you're trying to make, then your brain will process it. Or if there's an obstacle to what you're trying to do, you'll process it. But you're blind to everything else. So a lot of what's going on in the world, you're blind to. You're not seeing it. And there's a lot of the world that you're missing. And so you must choose what you get to see. So the price we pay for focus is being blind to everything else. So for example, have you ever, when you bought a new car, like say you went to go buy a Honda Accord, and you go to buy the car, and once you start looking for it, then all of a sudden you start driving around and you start noticing all these Honda Accords everywhere. Has that ever happened to you? Once you went to go buy a car, like now all of a sudden you notice all of these cars, like they were there the whole time. They were there the whole time, but you didn't notice them. Now your mind is paying attention to them. It's like I was looking at a Honda Accord, it's like, man, there's a million of them. I don't really want this car now. But you didn't notice them until you started to look for it. So they were there, but we don't focus on it until it's of interest to us. So there's things happening, and we can't focus on everything. So there's things happening that we're missing, that we're not paying attention to. So we need to train our mind what to focus on, because we're going to miss a lot of stuff. So we have to be intentional about what we see and what we miss. So let's try one more experiment. So look around your room, the room you're in, for everything brown. Look around the room you're in for everything brown. In the room you're in, try to notice everything brown. Okay, so now I want you to sit and think and number out all of the items in your area that are green.
My plants are dead.
So if you look around now, you'll notice there's more green stuff, but you didn't notice them the first time you looked, because you were looking for the brown things. You were looking for the brown things, so you didn't notice all of the green things before. So we're paying attention to things, and other things we're missing. So unless it pops up and interferes with us, we're going to miss it. I was talking to people about, with the racism and stuff that's going on, and people are like, I don't see how people could not know there's racism. And it's like, well, if you're going to be if you're not paying attention to something, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. But if you're focusing on something, it's going to be heavily in your mind. So like some people are excessively focused on racism. Like this guy, I knew, he was telling a story. He thought everything was racist. He was talking, so he was happy about the Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben's box changing. He said, we got to change that supermarket because that supermarket is racist. I said, well, what are you talking about? He says, well, I went to the cereal aisle and I looked at the cereal and I saw the white cereal, Frosted Flakes. And he said, they're great. He said, but look at the black cereal, Cocoa Puffs. What happens when you eat them? You go cuckoo. I said, really? Okay. You go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And he said, well, then I went down to the olives. He said the regular olives, the green olives, were in this clear glass. He said, but then the black olives, they were locked up in a can. I was like, really? Oh, okay. He said, and worst of all is the rice. I said, what are you talking about? He said, I went to the rice aisle, and he said, the regular rice, he said, the white rice is regular rice. I was like, yeah. He said, you throw a few black specks in the rice, now it's wild rice. I said, see, he just focused. Everything he sees is racism. So if you're focusing on something, you're gonna see everything. Your world is gonna be painted by it. If you focus on racism, you're gonna see racism. If you focused on whatever you focus on, that's what you're gonna see.
That's the lens in which
That's the lens in which you're
see
seeing it, but at the cost of seeing other things. So if you're focusing on something you don't like, you're costing other stuff in order to be able to point out things that you don't like. So you're wasting your focus on something you don't like. So we're blind to the stuff that we don't want to see, and we're also blinded by our desires. So what you want, so things you want, things you desire, sometimes it'll make you unable to see other things. So you're headed for a goal, you're aiming for something, you can't see other things. So sometimes it may be kind of in a good way, because I'm sure we all know people that their eyes are focused on Jesus. They desire Jesus, they focus on Jesus, and they're the people that'll say, you know, I went to the store and look at my receipt, it's got 77 on it. So that's a sign that Jesus loves me, you know, 77. And I went to, you know, look at that cloud, and, you know, can't you kind of see the face? It looks like a cross, you know, and now, like, they see Jesus in everything, you know, because that's what they're focused on. And so if it's something you're desiring, you're focused, your world is gonna be shaped by whatever you're desiring. The world is going to be shaped by what you're focused on. And so other things in the world are going to be hidden from you. And so as we change our focus, as we become whole, we're going to start to notice opportunities. So that's why there's some people that are always having bad things happen to them. Every time you say, oh, I got hit by a car, oh, I got, you know, oh my God, you know, I got laid off, oh, I got, and it's like always bad things happening because they're focused. They're going to miss opportunities because your lens is you're not going to notice opportunities that are there. You're going to mislabel opportunities. You're going to mislabel people. You know, it's the same with if you think, oh, all men are this, or all women are that, or all this race people are this, or all this. You know, you're going to mislabel things and mislabel events because that's your focus. That's what you're focused on. So changing your focus will actually change your life. It'll change, and as you start to change your focus, opportunities will start to develop and uncover themselves as you start to change your focus, things that you would have ignored before. So, you know, they talk about texting, how when you text people you know, a lot of times the texting goes bad because we don't really read the text. We only read to confirm what we already believe. It's like we don't fully read text from other people, you know, which is what we're focusing on. And so we get to decide what we want to focus on. So you should decide, you know, and the Bible tells us whatever is lovely, whatever, to focus on that. And so, but if you don't decide, then you can let the media decide for you. You know, the media can tell you, you know, starting in January, okay, you need to focus on the fires in Australia. Then in February, you need to focus on Kobe. You need to focus on March coronavirus. You need to focus on the killer hornets. You need to focus on racism and the riots. So now you need to focus on the people who aren't wearing masks, or focus on the people who are wearing masks. Or now you need to focus on impeachment. Now you need to focus on there's some fires. And no, now mail-in ballots. And so they're going to give you something to focus on. And you focusing on that is going to cause you not to see some other things. So either you can choose what to focus on, or you can let society dictate what you focus on. You can let society dictate what you focus on. You can let the Bible tell you what to focus on, or you can let the media tell you what to focus on.